Is A5 Wagyu better than American Wagyu? So what's the difference, right? So people think A5 real, American fake. Well, let's just break it down. They're both real, they're just raised and they're graded differently. So hopefully by the end of this video, you're gonna understand why and how they're connected and maybe why they taste just a little bit different. All right, A5 Wagyu. So A5 is actually part of the Japanese grading scale. Okay, so the A is the yield. That's the usable meat in the cow. So it's A through C. Okay, A is the best, and then 5 is going to be the quality grade. So that's going to be talking about the marbling, the color, the texture, the fat. So that's a 5. It goes 1 through 5. All right, and then we also have the BMS, the beef marbling scale. So that in Japan goes from 1 to 12, and A5 is usually found in that like 8 to 12 range. So it's just super high marbled, obviously. And in the grading system in Japan it's extremely strict. There's only a small percentage that actually equal out to be that A5. But you got to remember, A is for the yield, 5 is for the quality grade, and it's going to land on that BMS scale, that beef marbling scale, usually from 8 to 12. All right. So, I mean, these cows, you got to remember, they're raised on feed for like 600 days. All right. So they are slaughtered probably around 30 to 35 months. So it's, a lot of these A5 produced cows are a little bit older, and they've just had this, they've been on feed and they have this marbling just built up. But it's got to be graded. In Japan, it's a very strict process, but you're going to see that A5 a lot. So just remember, the A is the yield, the 5 is the score, all right, the quality of the beef. So the American Wagyu system, so it's a little bit different, okay? We don't have that A5, that the yield and the quality. So it's all based on, if you know this, select choice prime, okay? And then there's a prime plus. So Wagyu doesn't really fit in this category, especially some of the higher end American Wagyu. Some of the full blood Wagyu is way above prime, all right? So a lot of this stuff in America, like, it's different, okay? So it's going to be that F1 cross. It's going to be that 50% Wagyu, 50%, American genetics. And then you're going to have the purebred, which is 93.75, and then you're going to have the full blood, which is 100%. But they're all graded on the US grading scale. So that's why you almost like, you can't compare. I can't say that, oh, this is A5 quality, because it's different. It's different scales, okay? And that's what one thing me and my partner Tyler love talking about, the BMS, that beef marbling scale, right? Because that almost evens everything out. So a lot of the US prime, you're gonna find to be about a 4, maybe a 5 on that beef marbling scale. And some of this really nice Wagyu coming out of the United States can be actually that 6 to 9 on the beef marbling scale, okay? I don't think a lot of it maybe gets up to the 10 to the 12. It probably can, but I think in general, some really great full-blood American Wagyu you're going to find in that 6 to 9 range. And so, is it better? It's different, right? It's raised for a different consumer. So, American Wagyu is raised to be steaks. A5 Wagyu is raised to be eaten in very small strips. So which one's better? It is really all about preference, and they have different grading systems, so we can't even grade them together unless we look at that BMS, that beef marbling scale, which me and Chef Tyler, my partner, are really pushing for to be the world beef marbling scale, because then you can just look at it and say, oh, this piece from Japan is an 11, this piece from the United States is a 7 or an 8 or a 9. So you can really almost like get it to be, to equalize out, actually show people exactly where it lands on this like world marbling scale. So hey, that's probably enough for about that. That's probably a different topic that me and Tyler will go into later, but they are graded differently. All right, so that's how the American is graded: select, choice, prime, and then prime plus. And then we got this Wagyu that's just flying off the charts. So which is better, A5, American Wagyu? Well, the flavor and experience are also just different. So A5 is just super buttery, melt in your mouth, almost sweet, like different mouthfeel. And then American Wagyu it's savory, it's still super rich because it has that Wagyu fat, and it is beef forward. That's something that the American consumer likes. So they're both super luxurious, and they're almost built for different occasions. You know, A5's fat, it liquefies, and it's so fast, like instantly, and it's just really great in small portions. Okay, that's how the Japanese eat it. They eat it in like 2 to 3 ounce portions, very thinly sliced, quickly cooked. Now, American Wagyu, it holds up. You know, it has some structure to it. It's great ribeyes, burgers, brisket, a lot of that what the American consumer likes to eat. So they're just different experiences, and they're for like almost like a different day of the week or a different celebration, and different consumers, right? Like we said, American consumers are different from Japanese consumers. The land in Japan is very different from the land in the United States. So all of that goes into what makes them different. Now, which one's better? I mean, you can choose. You know, I would go out and have a little small piece of A5, and then maybe get a full blood New York strip, and then see which one you like to enjoy. You know, which one satiates you more. Do you like having just like a couple little thin bites that really just like melt in your mouth and really just, you know, give you a crazy different mouthfeel? Or do you like sitting down and eating a whole steak, a whole New York strip steak? Just depends on what you like. It's for a different day of the week. Both are great. Both are different. So to wrap it up, I want you to choose. I want you to go out. I want you to find some Wagyu beef. I want you to find some A5. Just buy a little piece. Hopefully they can sell you just a little piece for like around $15 to $20. And then go out and buy a nice F1 cross or a full blood or a purebred American Wagyu steak. And the best part about that is you don't have to spend hundreds of dollars. Like I said, buy a $20 piece of A5 and buy a $20 to $25 American Wagyu steak. You could get an amazing zabuton. You could get a bavette, a skirt steak, a terrace major. You know, we love all the different types of American Wagyu cuts out there because there's so many more steakable items that you just love. Go out and get a Wagyu ranch steak. Oh God, I just had one the other night. Oh my God, they're so good. Top sirloin too. You can really see the difference between conventional beef and Wagyu beef when you look at something like that. So go out and buy yourself a couple of steaks. To me, if I'm going to break it down and give you my personal opinion, I love A5 Wagyu for a nice celebration. I love American Wagyu for everyday excellence. I eat so much beef. I eat so much American Wagyu because it's around here more. You know, it's not as expensive. I can eat a full steak. I can be satiated. But then once I find a little bit of A5 somewhere, I'm going to buy it because it's great. It's a great mouthfeel. It is awesome. And I like to share it with other people and have them try some of this most luxurious beef in the world. So they are just very different. They're for a very different consumer, very different day of the week, celebration or not a celebration. So it's not about the country. It's about the craft, about what you enjoy, how you like to prepare it, what you want to eat, what you want to serve. So go out there. Don't be scared to buy a little portion, try it out, and then grow from there.